Well, Disney has finally released the Marvels after 5 long years of reshoots, rewrite after rewrite, and multiple release dates that have seen this movie's release pushed back 5 times. And how was it? Well, if you ask Disney Marvel, they'll say it's a masterpiece. But in reality, it's more like this. I love that show. Welcome back to Poprageous. I'm Danny Alex. The long-awaited release of the Marvels has finally happened. They did it! And the only takeaway I have after watching this movie is that Marvel Cinematic Universe is in more trouble than anyone realized. This movie is a financial disaster for Disney. After $275 million in production costs and over $100 million in marketing. It's yet another humiliation for what was once the premier superhero franchise that saw its peak in the release of the Avengers Endgame back in 2019. And now, the Marvels promises to be a massive Phase 5 flop that will most likely change the entire MCU as we know it. And not for the better.
Whoa, way too much.
I'm so sorry.
That
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
The Marvels marks the low point for Disney Marvel and should result in a complete reorganization of the entire executive and production teams. But Disney is slow to react and has allowed this 4-year-long train wreck to happen in ultra slow motion. It's a movie that is so bad it even surprised the most cynical Marvel critic with a script that comes across as though it was cobbled together by multiple production teams, all with their own ideas and storylines. There is no attempt to establish the main characters with clear and definable arcs. There are no compelling subplots with a main storyline that takes the audience on a dull, uninspired, emotionless ride and is mostly a bunch of action scenes stitched together because the executives at Disney most likely told them to put lots of big action in. More! Even that was done in lackluster form. The dialogue is subpar on all levels and comprised of 1/3 exposition dumps, 1/3 at a sorry attempt at humor, and another third to develop the story and characters. It's as though first-year creative writing students at a community college were asked to write a Marvels movie for their final assignment, and instead of being graded and handing it in, Kevin Feige took it and used it as his blueprint for this movie. The acting is as bad as the script allows the actors to be, with shallow dialogue and limited opportunities to develop and explore the characters. Brie Larson feels all over the map with no focus, like she was directed by a different director in every scene. Tenoa Paris is a lump of clay. She feels generic and shows no qualities that give her her own identity. The only exception is Iman Vellani, who plays Kamala Khan. She at least comes across quirky and fun with a personality that is easy to relate to for audiences.
Oh, forget about it. She rocks.
Then we have Nick Fury. After his performance in Secret Invasion, have you seen that one? Samuel L. Jackson feels tired as he's just going through the motions to act his parts and get this movie wrapped up. The premise of the Marvels begins in 2019 when Captain Marvel destroys the Supreme Intelligence, which leads to a civil war among the Kree. Hala becomes barren. It's losing its air and water with its son dying. Dar-Ben, the new leader of the Kree, who is also the movie's bland, one-dimensional antagonist, finds one half of the quantum bands, of which Kamala Khan has the other half. Her plan? To steal air, water, and sun from other planets. And so our story begins, folks.
I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
There's really nothing to highlight in this entire movie, as even the most die-hard Marvel fan will most likely be disappointed after 105 minutes of the weakest storytelling there has been for a massive blockbuster movie production like this. The tone and theme are scattered like an orchestra without a conductor. There's never a cohesive idea as to what this movie was supposed to be, what it represents, and, if you excuse the pun, what its endgame is. It makes you wonder if there is even anyone in control of the main storyline for phases 4, 5, and 6 at Marvel. You cannot underestimate how bad this movie is after spending $275 million on production costs alone, with teams of hundreds of people slapping this excuse for a movie together. Now, it's clear that the team at Marvel didn't even start with a clear script or story idea. Instead, they had an idea to have a woman-only superhero movie as their main theme, and then just tried to build a movie around it. The fact is, a woman-led big-budget blockbuster movie can be highly successful, but only if you adhere to the process of making a great film. And that means a great script idea with compelling characters who drive the story forward. If there is anything that the Marvels proves, is that you can throw endless amounts of money at any project that you like.
Can I have 20 bucks?
No.
But if the script and story idea is flawed, your movie will turn out to be garbage. The Marvels is a punch in the gut to any Marvel fans that are even left hanging on to this tired and now lifeless franchise. It's the lowest point for the MCU and unequivocally proves what every detractor of Disney Marvel has been saying. The very people who have been derided and ridiculed by Disney for their criticism. Toxic fans are not the fault for the massive financial failures at Disney. These toxic fans are in fact the very people who built the Marvel franchise to what it was and have been in love with the universe of Marvel superheroes for decades, only to have Disney ridicule them for their passion and love of the characters and stories. Disney has permanently damaged the entire Marvel universe, along with its massive dedicated fan base. They spent over $4 billion buying the franchise and spent the better part of 5 years driving them away. There is very little chance that Disney will be able to convince former Marvel fans to return to theaters for their next movie release. The Marvel Cinematic Universe may very well be dead. Put a fork in it. If you like what you heard, I thank you for watching, and if you didn't, I thank you all the same, and we'll see you in our next video.